Here, in the triangle DGH, angle H is a right angle. So, as I told you before, you need now to draw the right triangle. H is right, so we have D, G, and H. And then H small. This is H small.
She is facing a problem and she cannot attend the period, but she'll see it later.
Sorry, Susan, can you repeat?
Haneen is having a problem and she cannot enter the period right now.
Okay.
But she'll watch the period later.
It's okay. So here now, letter H small. This is mean the length of H small is mean the length of the side that is opposite to angle H. So where's angle H? This is angle H. So here will be H small. Here will be D small, and here will be G small. So H small means that this is the opposite side to angle H capital. So H small is 13. G small is 5. And D small, I need to find it. How do you find it? As I tell you before, by Pythagorean Theorem. So,
what if I say that the place of the D is G and the G is D?
if you have this triangle with the same name of the same names, so this is false. But if you write the triangle like this, this will be correct. I must have D small as the opposite side of angle D.
Okay, so it's okay like that.
If you but must be careful that if here is D and here is G.
Yeah, okay, like you mean the opposite of them, that is like the letter small.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, teacher,
so now,
thank you.
Here this H small 13, G small is 5. I need to find now D small. As I told you before, if this is, since this is a right triangle, so by Pythagorean Theorem. 13 squared minus 5 squared give you D squared. 169 minus 25, it's not this number. It was 12. So D is 12. So after I found now the length of them, what do they need to find now? They don't ask you to find measure of angle D. They ask you to find, they don't ask you to find the measure of sine or cosine. No, they ask you to find the measure of D. What is the measure of angle D? In order now to find the measure of angle D, you need now to use the trigonometric ratio.
Teacher, we are going to use all of them?
No, one of them. That can help you to find angle D. Now here, once one of you say, teacher, I want to use sine. Fine. Let's say sine of D is
the opposite over hypotenuse,
which is 12 over 13. And what did I find now? I found sine of D. But I don't need sine of D. I need D only. So to find D only, what you have to do? You have to use sine inverse of 12 over 13. If I use sine inverse of 12 over 13, I can find measure of angle D. So D will be, using your calculator now, sine inverse of 12 over 13 give you that angle D is 67.38 degrees. Now, one of you type, teacher, I don't want to use sine. I want to use cosine.
Teacher, if I used any one of them, I will get the same answer.
Okay, I will use cosine now. Let's use cosine of D. Cosine of D,
Adjacent over hypotenuse.
adjacent, which is 5 over the
5
hypotenuse,
over
13.
15.
So D will be the cosine inverse of 5 over 13. Now let's try it in calculator. Cosine inverse of 5 over 13. What's your answer? 67.38 degrees. So I mean that if you choose cosine or sine, you will get the same answer. If you
Okay,
draw
teacher.
it now in different way, you will get the same answer too.
Yes, okay.
Got it now? Did you get the idea?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
Now let's solve these two questions here.
Teacher,
What
I
is
feel like, yeah, like it's just about what you said. It's just all about the trigonometric ratio. Like everything about trigonometric ratio.
Yeah, let's listen here. For trigonometric and right triangle.
Yeah.
Now let's solve. We got it 5. What is the measure of angle A in each triangle? Use a trigonometric ratio. Here now we have A, B, and C. It is a right triangle at angle C, and I need to find measure of angle A. Now from here, sometimes you don't need to find the measure of the length of the third side. Just say, for measure of angle A, what did I have?
The
Opposite.
I have the opposite, and I
And
have the
hypotenuse.
hypotenuse. Then ask yourself, I have the opposite and the hypotenuse for angle A. So which ratio is an opposite over hypotenuse?
Sine.
It is sine. Bravo. So it is sine. Then sine of A is 4 over 10. But as I told you before, I don't need A. I don't need sine, sorry. I need A only. So in order to find A, you have to say it's sine inverse of 4 over 10. So by calculator now, sine inverse of 4 over 10, they give me that measure of angle A will be 23.57 degrees.
Teacher.
Yes.
Teacher, here we can also use the cosecant.
The cosine, you mean? The cosecant? Yes,
No,
you
she
can.
means cosecant. Yeah.
But for the cosecant, it's hardly to find its inverse on calculator.
Yeah, like you mean if we say
So
cosecant.
in the calculator, you have all the sine, cosine, and tan.
Okay.
So you have these 3. You can, but these 3 basics are easier to you. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, teacher, it is.
Now, let's now solve letter B. Here we have a right triangle. Right at C is a right angle, and I need to find measure of angle A. So let's now try to draw it clearly. This is C, this is A, this is B. Now, if this is A, so 9 will be the hypotenuse, which is the longest side. And this is A, and this will be A for AC, which is 5. I need now to find the measure of angle A.
We're going to use opposite over adjacent, which is the tan.
It's adjacent over hypotenuse.
Yeah,
Which is the
what you
cosine.
have. Yeah, what you have to do first here, try to come back. What did I mean? I mean this is angle A. And for the angle A, I have an adjacent and I have its hypotenuse. Type then ask yourself, what is the adjacent over hypotenuse? It is cosine. So if this is cosine, oh, sorry, if this is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is cosine, I can find A now. So angle A will be cosine inverse of the adjacent over hypotenuse. What is the adjacent? It is 5/9. Now, by your calculator, cosine inverse of 5/9 will be 56, approximately 56.2 degrees. So the measure of angle A will be what? 56. So if this is here, 56.2. Now what's the measure of angle B?
It will be opposite over hypotenuse, which is the sine.
Without this way. Another way, how can you find its measure?
We will say that 56.2 plus 90 plus x equal, no, I mean 56.2 plus x plus 90 equal 180.
Bravo. So here, in order to find the measure of angle B, so measure of angle A plus measure of angle B plus measure of angle C will be 180. So 56.2 plus 90 plus B will be 180. So after you solve it, you will find that the measure of angle B will be 33.8 degrees. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Now,
Yes, equal.
what did you use as cosine and so on? If you have three sides and are given, and you want to find any of the trigonometric ratios, it's very easy to you. You can find sine and cosine and tan. But if you have one side and one angle, and you need to find the other side, you need to use the sine and the cosine and the tan. Imagine it now. You have only one side and one angle. This is a triangle here. You know that this is 5 and this is 30 as an example. And you need to find now the measure of this angle, of this side x. What you have to do here, you have to use sine or cosine or tan. You say that sine of, not sine, sorry. You say that I need to find x. X is an adjacent and 5 is an opposite. And then opposite over adjacent is tan. So then tan of 30 will be 5/x. Then 5/tan 30 will be x. So this is a way here in order to find the measure of length x. So if you have only one side and one angle, you need to use one of these trigonometric ratios. If you have two sides and are given, and you need to find the angle, so you have to use, so here, if you need to find now the unknown angle, you have to use the inverse of the sine and the cosine and tan. So you have two sides, you need to find the unknown angle, you need to use the inverse. But if you have two sides are known and you need to find the third side, you need to use the Pythagorean theorem. So if you have two sides are given, you need to find the angle, you have to use the inverse. But if you have two sides are given and you need to find the third side, you have to use the Pythagorean theorem. But if you have one side and one angle, and you need to find any of the other sides, you have to use the sine and the cosine and the ratios as they are. Is it
Yes,
clear?
okay, teacher. Thank you. Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Teacher, thank you for reminding us.
You are welcome.
Teacher, I think it's when you click create or
That's not the thing. Yalla, number 1 here. If you are given the opposite side and the hypotenuse, which trigonometric function should you use?
the sign.
The sign.
Here, cosine of z. How do you find cosine of the angle z?
It's going to be 24 over 80.
24 over 80 or 30?
It's wait. I thought it's 80.
It's
It's 30, but I thought it's 80.
It will be adjacent over
24
hypotenuse.
over
24 over 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, what leg is considered the hypotenuse? Is it the side opposite the smallest angle, or the side opposite the right angle, the side opposite of the shortest leg, or the any side?
No, the right angle.
To the right.
Bravo. Number 4, tan of x. Here,
It's adjacent or I
over
mean opposite
opposite
over
over
adjacent.
adjacent. So it will be
So it's
30
30 over
over
40.
Now, number 5, find the measure of the missing angle. Here we have two sides. You need to find the measure of the missing angle. Yalla.
Okay, we're going to use the
Solve it by
tan.
yourself. Yalla,
No, I
correct.
mean
Give me
the
the angle.
Okay.
Teacher, it's
No, not the
49.
tan.
I got it as 49.45. So what should I round it as?
I think let's say it's 50. Yalla. Sorry,
Teacher, I got it as 49.
round it. It's 49.45. So it's rounded to be 50. Yalla, okay. Solve for x. Here you know you have measure of the angle, which is 40. We have the side is 20, the hypotenuse, and you need to find now, just a minute, please. Yeah. Okay. Here now, we have it. There's angles 40x and 20. So we have opposite over hypotenuse. I solve it with you now.
So it's sine 40.
Sine of 40 will be x over 20.
And then it will equal 20 times
Sine of
40.
40 x over 20. So x
It's equal 12.8.
will be 20 times sine 40. Sine 40 times 20, which is 12.8, yes. Number 7, find the measure of the indicated angle. Round to the nearest tenth.
We will use the inverse of sine.
Fine, yeah.
So sine of x.
It will be opposite over hypotenuse.
Yalla, who give me
X
55.2.
55.2. Yalla, try to solve it correctly. Quickly, sorry. Now here, choose the correct ratio. Cosine of x is Maya, please. Maya?
It's teacher sine x. It
Yeah.
is sine.
There's a voice annoying us from you maybe or from Rose? Maya, you are you. Mute your microphone, please. Thank you, Maya. Okay, here now, cosine of x
It's standard.
is it 13 over
Standard.
12? Sine of x is 5 over 13? No. Tan of z, is it 5 over 12? Is it 5 over 12? Or sine of z
12 over
is 5
13.
over
Tan-
13? Which one? Sine of z.
Standard. Wait, what? Oh, okay.
Now, here, find side the length of AB. FC is 60. How do you find AB?
Teacher, is that given?
60 is an angle and the hypotenuse is 10. You need to find AB. AB is an opposite.
Oh, okay.
So sine of 60
So sine of 60,
equal x over 10.
bravo, x over 10. So x will be sine of 60 times 10. Yalla, sine of 60 is 0.866 times 10 will be 8.66 meter.
Teacher, يعني you mean he find the side of AB, isn't it the hypotenuse?
No, the hypotenuse is 10. It will be the opposite.
Oh, and you mean the angle of it, okay.
Now here, angle x. You know that you need to find the measure of angle x if you know the opposite and the hypotenuse. So sine inverse of 7 over
13.
13
will be
32.58.
2.58.
Yeah.
اه وش ده؟
49.
لا 50 لا هو يطلع 49 اوكي
Wait, 49. Okay.
خلينا اعطاني فرصه اخيره اوكي
Yay, 100%.
so now you need to solve extra examples or you need to go to the quiz to revise for the quiz.